Welcome back to DaBoot Tragedies, Outside Looking In, second episode of the new year. I'm with my co-host Dre once again, and it's NFL playoff time. Before we get started, let's just give a shout out to the Eagles and the Chiefs. They both got first round byes. Congrats to them. So they will not get mentioned in this episode, unless that technically was a mention. But they have bye weeks. We're going to talk about each and every playoff game. And we'll start with the NFC. First game of the playoffs will be Seattle versus San Francisco. Will be their third time playing this year. I think it'll be a good game. Thoughts on that game?
So here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
Realistically, I think the 49ers will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not be surprised if Seattle comes out on top. And the reason I say that is because, number one, like you said, this is their third time facing. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in the same season.
Mm-hmm.
They're divisional opponents, so there obviously is, familiarity with one another. And then the first time that they played, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a game that Trey Lance got hurt and Jimmy G came in.
Yep.
And the score was, it wasn't even close.
27-7.
And then the second go round was with Brock Purdy, and it was the 8-point game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like 21-13.
Yep.
So that game was kind of close, and the Seahawks defense dropped 2 Brock Purdy interceptions in that game. So, granted, that was in Seattle. This playoff game is going to be, at Candlestick Park. But you never know. Anything could happen. And, Pete Carroll doing his thing, trying to tell them, like, oh, they a juggernaut. We're just happy to be here, blah, blah, blah. And, he's just saying all that for the media, probably trying to boost the ego of the 49ers, catch them slipping, and then here come the Seahawks, doing what they do. But the Seahawks got Geno Smith is playing. He played well all year long. Got to give him credit for that. Kenneth Walker's played well as a rookie. Still got Lockett and DK. You got Quandre Diggs and Woolen out there in the secondary. So, hey, anything could happen. I do think the 49ers will still win, but I'm going to say it's going to be close. And because I think it got away, I'm going to say it's going to be 21-18 49ers.
Now, all that sounded good. But, man, the 49ers, I wouldn't want to play this team right now. Out of any team in the NFL, this team right now, they're hot. They're rolling with 9 in a row or something like that.
10.
Just 10 in a row. Crazy. After they lost to the Chiefs, they lost 44-23 to the Chiefs. Since that game, 31-14 against the Rams, 22-16 against the Chargers. That's like their only close game. 38-10 against the Cardinals. 13-0 against the Saints. Let's skip that one. 35-7 against the Buccaneers. Beat the Commanders 37-20. That Raiders game was pretty good, 37-34. And they blew out the Cardinals, who didn't want to play for anything in the last game of the season, 38-13. So they're the hottest team in football right now. They can run the ball. Since that McCaffrey trade, they've been damn near unstoppable.
Now, I will say one other thing though. Excluding the Bucs, they've been bad all year. But out of all those teams, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Of course.
I really think the 49ers will win this game. But out of all those teams you just mentioned, their close game was against a playoff team.
Of course.
In the Chargers. All those other blowouts and everything like that, it was against poor teams not in the playoffs. So that could also catch them slipping a little bit. So I'm just saying the 49ers, they should win, but there's a little bit of stuff that could trip them up. So, we'll see. But granted, yes, they did blow out the Bucs, and they're a playoff team also.
In the first round of these playoffs, you got to be able to play defense, run the ball. They can do both. I think they'll win this game somewhat easily. I think it's a 10-point game. It could be closer. Obviously, that's only 2 possessions. Can't come down to 1 possession. But I think that'll be a fairly easy game for them. Comfortable game, I should say. Not easy, comfortable. We can move on to that second game. Second game Saturday will be the Chargers versus the Jaguars. I think this is going to be the most interesting game out of all of the playoff games right here. And it's just gonna be a good one. You got 2 young quarterbacks. That's Herbert, obviously, and Trevor Lawrence. Whoever wins this game, let me start here. Whoever wins this game, it's going to be like a Xbox achievement. Legacy up 1,000 points. Because whatever young quarterback wins this game, makes it to the divisional round, they automatically get a boost in their career. Now, if you lose this game, it's automatically a slight in your career. Oh, now you can't win a playoff game. Now it's this, now it's that. Now you're going to hear that all offseason. And if you lose the next playoff game, now you're 0-2, and that's just going to keep building and building and building. So, I think Herbert has to win this game, in my opinion. If he wants to make that jump, make that leap, you want to be mentioned with Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, whoever you want to put at the top, you have to win this game. You can't lose to Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have to show up. You have to show out. You just have to win. Jacksonville, home game. Hey, man, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, in my opinion. Go out, have some fun, throw some deep balls. Don't play terrible. Make it fun. If you lose, you're not supposed to be here. If you win, great. Make a Cinderella run. So I got the Chargers winning this, but I would like to see Jacksonville win.
So I agree with you. This is out of all the matchups that we'll get to, this one's the most intriguing, really, because unless something goes wrong, all the other matchups really have like a clear should be winner. This is the only one where it truly could go either way. And one reason why I truly say that, I think the Chargers should win this game, but the number one reason why the Chargers, if they don't win this game, the number one reason will be their head coach. If the Chargers lose it, and I know we'll talk about the offseason when we get to the offseason, but if the Chargers lose this game, he's out. Like
Sean Payton, come get him.
Like he's done. He's out of there. Because the biggest thing is for him, he can't go out there trying to be it's 4th and 1. Let me go for it.
Every time.
Like you're playing one of the worst defenses in the league. On the Jaguar side, if Doug Peterson, and y'all know me, Eagles, man, I trust Doug Peterson, brought us our chip. But Doug Peterson is also a risky coach. Now, one thing, everybody's making this Herbert versus Lawrence. That's not the way this game needs to go. This game does not need to be, throw for throw between Herbert and Lawrence, because on the Jaguar side, their strong suit is that running game. And the Chargers defense weakness is their run defense. On the Chargers side, their strength is the pass game. The Jaguars defense, weakness is the pass defense. So play, do what you do and you can win the game. And that's why the game can be close. But don't try if Herbert throws a touchdown, Lawrence doesn't have to come back the next drive and throw a touchdown. ETN can run it in for a touchdown and be perfectly fine. But I still think the Chargers will win unless Staley does something ridiculous, which he always does. So yeah, I think they'll win. I think it'll be like, 28-21. But I also do agree with you in the legacy aspect, but I think it means more for Herbert. Like you said, if he loses, he's being compared to Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. He has to win.
Yep.
Lawrence, he wasn't supposed to be here, and the team wasn't supposed to be here. So if he wins, that's a huge boost.
Yep.
But if he loses, it's okay.
It's like,
he took that next step. He got to the playoffs. It'll be next year, and when they start saying stuff about winning. But Herbert's got to win. Yeah,
out of all the young quarterbacks, you have Mahomes, obviously MVP, Super Bowl already. Josh Allen, he's proven everything you can prove. MVP conversation every year. Lamar Jackson, MVP conversation and has won. Burrow went to the Super Bowl already. So Herbert, got to do something. You got to do something. But if they do lose and the coach does get fired, call my people. We'll get in touch with Sean Payton. We can figure this out. This is a first-round pick, Mike Williams, something like that. Who knows? We'll get there when we get there. But the first game Sunday, will be Miami versus Buffalo. Buffalo's going to be the home team here. Their third time playing Miami as well this year. And this one's going to be probably the worst game out of the three. And they had the greatest quote from the Buffalo lineman. I don't know if you've seen it. He was like, this is our third time taking them on a date. Hopefully we can take them home this time.
Yep.
That was one of the best. I'm paraphrasing. It was something like that. But really good quote. I think this is going to be a 20-point game, honestly. Miami's they're too beat up. I'm playing quarterback for them, so it's gonna be tough out there. Buffalo's just too strong, and it's written already. If Buffalo wins this game by a lot, it's written. This after the Hamlin injury, man, kickoff return, first play. I just think it might be written for them already. The Super Bowl might be theirs. It's just in the football gods already wrote it out. So I think Buffalo wins this fairly easy.
I don't want to be that guy, but I think Josh Allen, might be eating some wings on the sideline like the Georgia Bulldogs were, by the fourth quarter. Maybe midway through the third, but I'm at least going to give it until the fourth quarter. That's the way if it goes like that, then everything's going status quo. If the Dolphins are still in this game by the fourth quarter, now Teddy may play.
Hey, you never know.
If Teddy plays, you never know. But I still think what's his name? Skylar Thompson. I think he's starting. Bills should win this game.
Yeah, I think if Dan Marino came out that tunnel, Dolphins still won't win. In my opinion, I think it's written for the Bills. That's just me. And I think I guess this is an interesting matchup as well. This next one, You got the Giants versus the Vikings. There's two teams I do not trust. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not trusting Daniel Jones. I'm not trusting Kirk Cousins. So this one's actually, I think this is another toss-up. Vikings will be at home. That's good for them. They'll be inside with Cook, Jefferson. Hopefully they can get going back with Jefferson and Cousins after Jair Alexander, locked them up. I think the Vikings would win, but I mean, they haven't shown me anything to be like, I'll be confident in picking the Vikings to win. I also would like the Giants to win just because I like chaos. Chaos is always fun. But my LSU guys on Minnesota, actually, I don't know. I'll think while you talk because I have no idea.
So, to be honest, I really don't care who wins this game.
That's basically how I am.
If the Vikings win, we don't play them in the next round. We'll play, the winner of Cowboys, Giants, or Bucks. Cowboys, Bucks, no matter what, unless Seahawks beat the 49ers. But so I'm not really worried about them, and I'm not worried about the Giants. One, we beat both teams, so that's one reason why I'm not worried about them. This is the biggest toss-up, mainly because the Vikings are dead in the water if they can't get Jefferson involved. And like you said, ever since Jair, spoke out right before the game against the Packers, he's been quiet. I think the last 2 games he's had 5 catches, but I mean they probably weren't really caring too much the last week of the season. Giants don't really have the best secondary, so he ate against them when they played earlier in the season. But still, the Vikings defense is what I don't trust. And then Kirk Cousins not playing at 1:00. I don't trust. So, if Kirk Cousins plays a clean game and he gets, Jefferson involved, they should win as long as they get the ball last. If they have to leave it up to their defense, the Giants could pull it out, because if I'm the Giants, you rested Saquon last week.
Yep.
This is Saquon's game. Like, you need to utilize him, focus on him. Like, the only time you don't give him the ball is when he's on the sideline resting.
Exactly.
Like, you need to put the weight on his shoulders, and he needs 200 all-purpose yards this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at their first game. Jefferson, 12 catches, 133 and a touchdown. This was the TJ Hawkinson game. I do remember that. 13 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley ran the ball great. 14 carries, 84 yards. That's 6 yards to carry.
But see, that's 2 little carries. He should have way more than 14.
He needs 25 touches this game. I'm sorry. If you're gonna pay him this offseason, he wants an extension, he's healthy, he needs 25 touches. He had 8 catches that game, so he actually had 22 touches, but I need the carries. The dump balls out the backfield, the check downs, I'm not too worried about that. He needs at least 20 carries, 25 touches, in my opinion, if they want any chance to win this game.
And honestly, that'll make Daniel Jones more of a threat, because then now you can use the read option with Daniel Jones, and I trust that more than having Daniel Jones trying to read the defense and throw to a less than stellar receiving core.
Exactly. I don't know who's going to catch the ball for the Giants at this point, but Daniel Jones did throw for 334 against the Vikings the first time, and he threw to Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, and Darius Slayton. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I think that was going to be a toss-up. If I had to pick a team, I'll pick the Giants, just because I don't trust Kirk Cousins, and I don't like the Vikings in the playoffs. That's the Minnesota Miracle.
All right, I'm gonna go Vikings, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say, but it's gonna be high scoring. So I'm gonna say 34-31 Vikings.
Next up, second to last game. This will be the Sunday night game. You got Baltimore versus Cincy, and this one was supposed to be probably the best game of the playoffs, but Lamar Jackson's probably not gonna play. It's not looking like it. That's probably dead. Then you got the Bengals, who have been rolling, and they've been making it known that they think the AFC is theirs. They're the defending AFC champs, and they've been talking like it. They've been letting it be known that, hey, we're the best team in the AFC. I don't care what the seedings are, things like that. And they got a good young quarterback, good young receiving core, your running back, defense is good. The Bengals should win this game, especially if Lamar Jackson doesn't touch that field. That Baltimore offense has been pathetic, and that's been nice since Lamar Jackson's been out. I'm sure he's not going to play. It's not even worked him playing. So I think the Bengals going to win this one by 14 points. It's the playoffs. I think Baltimore defense is going to show up, make it somewhat tough for the Bengals, but it's just going to be too much for them to overcome with them offensive struggles.
Yeah, Lamar, rest that knee, man, and get your money.
Get that money. Come get it. New Orleans.
Don't try and push it, man. But in terms of this game, Baltimore's defense is going to have to win this game. I don't care if it's Tyler Huntley or what's the other, Arthur Brown. I think that's the third stringer. I don't
Anthony
care which
Brown,
one of them.
something like that.
I don't think which one. I don't care which one of them is starting. The Baltimore defense is gonna have to win this game. Either with turnovers, possibly maybe even scoring a touchdown on defense. You just gotta, because I like you said, their offense has been the worst ever since Lamar's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect them to go toe for toe with Burrow, Chase, Mixon, Higgins. Like it's not gonna happen. So Humphrey, Roquan, you just got $100 million. So that whole defense, y'all got to go out there and y'all have to make a statement.
Yep. Marlon Humphreys got $100 million like 2 years ago. Marcus Williams from the Saints got a lot of money this offseason. They're gonna need every last one of those defensive guys to show up. And they're probably gonna need a defensive touchdown, honestly.
If this is the game to test Cincinnati's offensive line, this is what you need to do. You need to put some pressure on the offensive line.
I agree. They need to play great defense, and Justin Tucker needs to be Justin Tucker. They get close, kick the field goal. Don't be going for it, because the Baltimore, they're like the Chargers in a way. They love to go for it on fourth down in the playoffs when they got Justin Tucker. Don't know why Harbaugh likes to do that, but he has a knack for going for it. I think since Lamar's out, he's going to be more conservative. They get in scoring range, they'll kick a field goal. So I still don't think
everything goes Baltimore's way, Baltimore wins 3-0.
Yep, basically that's their only chance. I think it has to be a 10-3 game. It has to be one of those Thursday night football games where it's 9-6, something crazy, 5-7. It's gonna be something stupid like that. That's the only way they can win this game. If Cincy scores over 21 points, that game is over. Like it's just no chance for them to win. In the last game, you got Dallas versus Tampa Bay. Now this one, I'll let you start actually, because you're an Eagles fan.
Well, you're a Saints fan.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm letting you start. Tampa's not really our rival. That's Atlanta. Tampa want to be our rival.
Yeah, but you don't like Brady.
I'm going to get there.
All right. Really, because I'm an Eagles fan and I know the Cowboys, and like I tell everybody, until the Cowboys prove something to us, they're like the Cubs. You don't trust them. Like until they finish the goal, you can't trust them. But then again, you're on the Bucs side, and the Bucs have been handed wins. Like the Rams game, they were handed that W.
Saints game,
game, handed that W. The Panthers game, I don't know what happened, but the NFL just said, hey, we're gonna stop simulating this game. Hand me the controller. We're gonna start playing this game, because apparently all season long Brady and Evans couldn't hook up. But then out of nowhere, they can hook up for 3 touchdowns, against the Panthers.
Yep.
And I believe all 3 were in the second half. Maybe 1 was in the first half. But still, like, the Bucs shouldn't be here. Like,
at all.
Really, this should be Panthers Giants. Or I mean Panthers Cowboys. That's what this really should be. But I digress. It's Brady. If the game stays close,
they're gonna cheat.
If the game stays close, then you're playing into Tom Brady's hands. As long as it's within 1 possession, 3 points, then once he gets the ball, he's gonna find a way to get it to Godwin and Evans, and he's gonna say, forget the running game. Like I don't care. The Cowboys have got to go in here and be, this high scoring offense that they've been for the majority of the season. But then again, if Dak comes out here and does his league leading interceptions, then this game's a huge toss up. So if Dak plays a clean game, they win 21-21. I'll say no. If Dak plays a clean game, they win 28-17. If Dak does not play a clean game, Bucs win 17-14. But I don't think the Bucs are scoring. I don't think they're scoring 20 plus on this Cowboys defense.
I don't think so either. Look, I hate the Cowboys. Let's get that out the way. They're probably they're in top 3 of worst teams that I hate. They're probably number 2 behind Atlanta. Yeah, just Atlanta takes the cake for me. Cowboys are probably number 2. But then you got my most hated player of all time, Tom Brady. So I'm in the odds here. Who do I root for? I can tell you who it won't be. It won't be Tom Brady. The Bucs need to lose this game. I am begging you with everything I have. I'm sorry, Diggs. I'm sorry for all the touchdown jokes. Hey, man, get those picks. I don't care how you get them. I don't care if I said you guess a lot. Please guess right against Tom Brady. Michael Parsons, hey, do your thing. Give me 10 sacks. I don't care. Y'all can lose next week. This week, I need the Cowboys to play their best game. I need Dakota Prescott to play his best game. Zeke, I need to find them legs from 3 years ago. Play your best game possible. I need this to be like a
Michael Parsons needs to
non-contest.
show up.
Everybody need Lawrence. You got $10 billion like 3 years ago. Can you just get 4 sacks? Somebody, please help me. I do not need to see Tom Brady win a game, because if they win a game, it's just gonna get ugly. I think they're gonna get the Vikings. I just see how this is gonna end if they win this game. So let's just nip this in the bud before it starts. Beat the Bucs, make me happy, make Steaks fan happy, and then I'll root for against the Cowboys in their next game. Unless they're playing the Vikings, then I'll probably root for the Cowboys.
More or less, if they win this game, unless something crazy happens, they'll play us.
Then I don't know who I'll root for then, because
okay.
it's just more entertaining if I just root for the Cowboys again. But I also want the Cowboys to lose on another note, because I do think Jerry Jones will fire McCarthy if they lose, because he wants Sean Payton. He's been wanting them bad. So if the Cowboys lose and the Chargers lose, they can just add names into the hat of teams that want Sean Payton. And I need a bidding war, because that's just fun for me. And we don't have a first-round pick, because that belongs to somebody else. So
who?
I don't remember.
Who?
That say they're gonna beat them Saints. So I don't know. I want Dallas to win for sure. But if they lose and they fire McCarthy, I also wouldn't be so mad. But I'm going Dallas 35-3. I need an embarrassment. I need them to get embarrassed.
So you think Dallas are going to play them like the 49ers did?
Yes, I think they're going to embarrass them. I think the Bucs are not a good team. And the Bucs are not a good team. I don't care if it's in Tampa, in Germany. It doesn't matter. The Bucs suck.
Yeah, but the Cowboys, one crazy stat,
hey,
Cowboys are not good on grass.
Hey, man.
At all.
I don't think the Bucs good on grass either. I've seen them play. I don't think they're good on anything as well. So I'm going Cowboys.
I'll say this. Obviously, I always want the Cowboys to lose. But one reason why if everything goes right, if the top 4 seeds win, then that means Bucs come to us, and then we can get our revenge for them, embarrassing us in the playoffs last year. But then again, if the Bucs win, I don't know what type of momentum that might give them. But, really, whoever wins this game is going to give them momentum, just because everybody's been talking bad about both teams, these last few weeks. So, but this is the one game I wish could end in a tie, but because we're in the playoffs, it's impossible.
So, all right, we'll go through all these games real quick and give me an X factor just in the game. Doesn't matter what team. Quick fire. Seattle, San Francisco. Who's going to be the X factor of that game?
It's going to be Kenneth Walker.
And I'm going Tariq Woolen, the cornerback from Seattle. I think if he can hold, if Debo plays in check, those receivers in check, I think they have a good chance. Chargers, Jacksonville.
Chargers head coach.
Damn
I know he's not a player, but he's the X factor.
Took my answer. Fuck. Just to go with someone different, I'm going to go Zay Jones, receiver, Jacksonville. I think he's been having some crazy games this year, and then he's had games where you've never seen him. So if he can go crazy, they have a good chance. Miami, Buffalo.
I technically, I guess Buffalo or Miami's quarterback, he might surprise you.
That's going to be the X factor that game. I'm just going to say the weather. The only way Miami has a chance, if it just gets nasty and it just, makes it a 10-7 game, they got a chance.
I got you.
Giants, Minnesota. We kind of talked about their X factors a little bit, but
yeah, but instead of Saquon, I'm gonna say the X factor is Daniel Jones. Because if he plays like he has this season, no limit the turnovers, he should be good. If he goes back to old Daniel Jones, Giants have no chance.
I'm going to go Adam Thielen, because I've been having this thing that I think teams are going to take away Jefferson in the playoffs. They're going to double him, triple him, press him, have a safety over top, and that's just going to leave Thielen and Osborne on the other side, and Thielen's going to have to make plays. And if he can do that, then they can win that game. Baltimore, Cincy, it's almost the same as the Miami game. But I think
I'm going to go with Baltimore's quarterback just because we've talked about their defense. So I'm going to say Baltimore's quarterback's the X factor.
I'm going to go with Dobbins. He's been hurt, hamstring injuries, MCLs, whatever, ACLs. He's been looking rusty. He's been looking good. If he can have a good game, they can run the ball, play defense, they have a chance.
In there. Andrews. Hey, he's Jackson's favorite target. If he can get open and the quarterback can get to him, Andrew could be an X factor. He gives a lot of defensive trouble, especially in Cincinnati.
I agree. And then last but not least, Dallas versus Tampa Bay.
Michael Parsons. If the Cowboys can't generate a pass rush, Tom Brady's going to find somebody at some point.
I'm going to go with, I actually don't know. I'm going to go Zeke. just because there's been a lot of talk that he's washed. Pollard's better. You're getting a good defensive front from the Bucs with Vita Vea, Devin White, all those guys. So I think Zeke's going to have to run hard, get those 3-yard carries, 4-yard carries. I think he's going to be the X factor of that game. And, hey, man, I'm ready for the next divisional round, honestly. I don't think this round is too spicy. It's a couple good games. I think it's going to be a couple good games, but this one's not too spicy.
I'm waiting for the divisional round.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to all be over with, to be honest. Pro Bowl, I mean, we got some guys. We don't even have Pro Bowl. Never mind. You know what? I'm just ready for the offseason. So I think that'll wrap it up. I think we're probably going to come back and none of this is going to be right. It's only going to be like 2 good games, and it's going to be like New York, Minnesota, and Miami, Buffalo.
Everybody got upset.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Actually, I make good content. So who knows what's going to happen, man? But I think that'll be it for this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in once again, man. It's DaBoot Tragedies. We out.
Deuces.
So